grammatically in German is just not a complete sentence. Pretty what? Like pretty good, pretty bad, pretty annoyed. Hey, I got that right. Yes. Proud of myself. And he just actually said geused, and that is totally something that young people would say nowadays. Hello, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. And as a native German speaker, I often get asked about Pennsylvania Dutch and if I can understand it. So I figured, let's find out once and for all. So today I'll react to video clips of people speaking Pennsylvania Dutch and try to understand as much as I can. We'll see how it goes. But first, for those of you who are currently sitting in front of your screen with big question marks in your eyes, let's talk about what Pennsylvania Dutch even is. And no worries, it's totally okay not to know that. I honestly only know because it's a topic that has to do with the German language and the US, so naturally I've come across this topic a few times in the last few years. So to keep it relatively short, Pennsylvania Dutch can refer to a group of people, the Pennsylvania Dutch, but also to the language that those people speak, which is basically somewhat of a German dialect. It goes back to immigrants from German-speaking territories, mainly from the Rhineland area, Palatinate, Baden-Württemberg, and Hessen, who left their home in the 17th and 18th century to escape religious persecution in Europe and settled in Pennsylvania in hope of religious freedom that William Penn, who founded the colony of Pennsylvania, had publicly promised. Since most of them came here to practice religious freedom, their religions obviously played a big role in their lives and still do today. Two of the most well-known groups of Pennsylvania Dutch are the Amish and Mennonites, both of whom were heavily persecuted in Europe at the time. Mennonites actually originate in Switzerland, by the way, so that also plays in here a little, but they moved up the Rhine into those German regions first and then came to America. But there were also other groups that were Lutheran, German Reformed, Moravian, and so on, many of whom came more for the economic opportunities in the New World. I've actually been asked quite a lot if I've ever visited an Amish community, since they do speak Pennsylvania Dutch among themselves, and the answer is yes, I actually have, but it's been over 12 years because this was part of the 2-week high school exchange with the city of Cincinnati that I did back in 2010, so I was 16 at the time. But we did get the chance to visit an Amish community here in Ohio and visit their school and spend some time with them, which was super interesting, and it was truly an honor because they don't usually invite strangers into their communities. I do remember that they sang a song for us in what I think was Pennsylvania Dutch, and they talked to us a bit too, and I think we understood them for the most part, but I don't remember exactly how much, to be honest. Now, the biggest question that usually comes up about this is, why are they called Pennsylvania Dutch if they were actually Germans and not from the Netherlands? Well, when they first came over, they called themselves Deutsch, in standard German Deutsch, which, as you might know, is German for German. So Deutsch is the language, or I would say Ich bin Deutsch, I am Deutsch, and our country is Deutschland. But back in the 17th and 18th century, there was no unified Germany. It was a bunch of different kingdoms and duchies and the like, and in the English language, the word Dutch, that has the same origin as Deutsch, Dutch, Deutsch, simply referred to the people in that general area, including today's Netherlands. They didn't really differentiate between people from the Germany region and the Netherlands region at the time. I actually explained all of that in detail and also the origin of the word Deutsch in this video, so if you're interested in that, I'll link that down below and up here. So the term Pennsylvania Dutch at the time didn't necessarily imply that these people were from the Netherlands, and they actually referred to themselves as Pennsylvania Dutch too. Now, due to the mix of dialects that these settlers spoke, and because they didn't have a lot of new German immigrants follow for a while there, around 1800, they basically developed their own hybrid dialect with different German influences, mainly from South Germany. I think you usually hear Pfälzisch, so Palatine is one of the main influences, and it has some English mixed in there as well. It's honestly impressive that they've been able to maintain this language for such a long time, and it's actually still spoken by over 300,000 people today, which is a lot of people who live in many parts of the US, Canada, and even in South America, with the largest settlement still being in Pennsylvania, in and around Lancaster County. Okay, so with that background knowledge, let's check out some real-life spoken Pennsylvania Dutch, and let's see how much I, as a native German speaker, can understand. I just picked out some videos on YouTube that I'm gonna be going through. I'll link them down below for you if you want to see the full video, but we'll probably just kind of be skipping through them a little bit. Okay, so you know the drill. I'm gonna be watching down here on my laptop. I'm gonna obviously put the picture on the screen for you, and the first video that I have here is from Wikitongues, and it's called Dale Speaking Pennsylvania German in English, so let's check it out.
Mijn naam is Dale Hollenbach. Ik was een teacher in de Fleetwood Mittelschule for 32 jaar.
Okay, so far I can understand everything. It honestly just sounds like a dialect of German, literally. He said his name, Dale, I already forgot, Hallenbach or something like that. And he said that he's been a teacher at the, what was it, Fleetwood Middle School for 32 years.
Nou,
see if it gets trickier.
Maar voor Duits, Pennsylvanisch Duitse, ging lezen te doen.
Pennsylvanisch Duits.
De eerste is entitled Pitter Pitter Korpsfresser.
What?
Pitter Pitter Korpsfresser. Had een vrouw die wees net besser. Halt ze in die korpsstal. Gleich sie dat nog best van al.
Okay, yeah, it did get trickier. So now he started reading some kind of like sayings or phrases, idioms, poems, I don't know what these are exactly, in Pennsylvania Dutch. And I think those are just trickier because it's like poems or idioms or rhymes are usually not with the most common words in a language, if that makes sense. Even like an English poem often uses like some old-fashioned language. And I did not understand that, to be honest. I mean, I understood like a few words, but I can't really put together the sense of it. So let's go back and try again.
Pitter Pitter Korpsfresser. Pitter Pitter Korpsfresser.
Korpsfresser?
Hat een vrouw die wees net besser.
Hat eine
Halt sie in die Korps.
Hat eine Frau, die weiß es nicht besser. So far, like, it sounds like it's about a Peter. And maybe he has a wife who doesn't know any better, but I'm not quite sure if that's what he's saying.
Gleich sie dat nog best van al. Pitter Pitter Korpsfresser. Meent gleich den andere besser.
Something besser. Auch nicht besser. Something.
Sel is gar nicht schön. Musst zu deine erste gehen.
Okay. Something is gar nicht schön, muss zu deiner ersten gehen. So something is not pretty, you're supposed to go to your first. Maybe your first wife?
Pitter Pitter Korpsfresser. Gleich den andere doch nicht besser. Londer Leser, Londer Schreiber, will bei die erste bleiben.
I think, if I were to guess, I think this is about a guy named Peter who's like cheating on his wife. And it's basically about, it's different but not better, I think. And it would have been better to stay with your first wife. But I could be totally wrong.
Now I will read it in English.
Okay, let's see.
Told you. Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater has a wife she knows no better. Keeps her in a pumpkin crib. She likes it there best of all. Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater thinks he likes another better. Peter, that's not nice at all. You must go to your first one. Peter Peter Pumpkin Eater still doesn't like the other one better. He learns to read, he learns to write. He decides to stick to the first one.
Okay, honestly, I'm not even that much smarter now. That's what I meant. Like, poems are often so complicated and like a little bit cryptic. I am still not 100% sure what this is about. What pumpkin eater means? Feli, it's pumpkin eater. How deaf are you? And what this is about a crib? Maybe that's just me being super naive or like just not getting it. That's totally possible. I don't know if this is like a famous poem that people know or something like that, and that's just, it's like a education gap on my end. If you can help, because obviously I'm gonna Google this later, but I'm not Googling it right now. So if you got this and understood what this poem is supposed to be about, Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I will say when he just spoke normally, I could understand him perfectly, but also he said something pretty simple. He was just introducing himself. But these little poems get pretty tricky. But the thing is that this actually also happens with other dialects just within Germany. So if someone were to just start speaking like very heavy, let's say Pfälzisch, which this is like very closely related to, I probably wouldn't understand it either. Or if someone were to speak Plattdeutsch, so Low German, I probably wouldn't be able to understand it. So it's kind of similar to that, I feel like. And you can definitely also hear the English influence in his pronunciation, which I know I say this kind of a lot in my videos that, for example, when Americans speak German, they often sound a little bit Dutch, but Dutch is a mix of German and English. So like, and by Dutch now, I mean actually like the language that they speak in the Netherlands. And I do feel like this, just by listening to it, it does kind of have like a Dutch ring to it. And what's so funny about it is that it does sound German though. Like there's all these German words and German pronunciation in there. So in the first moment you kind of think, oh yeah, I can understand this. And then it's like, wait, but I don't actually understand what he's saying. Like I can understand the words and I recognize the words, but I can't really make sense of it. Let's look at another video. This one is on the Philadelphia Inquirer channel, and it's called Patrick Donmeyer, Pennsylvania Dutch Phrases. It's just 1 minute long, so.
I'll tell you a couple phrases that you would commonly hear at the corner store. I go to a store some mornings and get a cup of coffee, and oftentimes, as soon as I walk in the door, I hear someone greet me. And people in Pennsylvania Dutch don't just say, hello, they'll say, wie bist du heute, which means, how are you doing?
Hold on. Wie bist du heute would be like, wie bist du heute? So that would be standard German. So how are you today? Which is funny because that's not actually something that we would say in standard German, in modern German, but you can see how this is a direct translation from English. So like, how are you today? And like, if you directly translate that word by word into English, it would be that, but we wouldn't really say that in German. So that's like a really great example of like how this language has merged with the culture here, or with the English language also.
Doing today, and you have to respond with something snappy. I usually say something like, ich bin ganz gut, ich bin so ziemlich ganz gut.
That's funny. Okay, ich bin ganz gut, so I am pretty good, which again is a total direct translation. That would not make sense at all in standard German. And then the second one is even funnier because he said, ich bin so ziemlich. That, like grammatically in German, is just not a complete sentence. Ich bin so ziemlich what? Like, it basically means I'm pretty. Pretty what? Like pretty good, pretty bad, pretty annoyed. That's so interesting.
Gut means very good or completely good. Ich bin so ziemlich means I am exceedingly fine. But there are a lot of different types of phrases that people use on a regular basis. Some people say, good morning, gute Maria. Good afternoon is gute Namiddag, and gute
Namiddag. Gute Namiddag? Okay, now I'm practicing my Pennsylvania Dutch. Gute Namiddag. Gute Namiddag. Which is funny because I feel like just the inflection would be different in German, even with a dialect. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there is a dialect where you do kind of stress the words like that, let me know. But I feel like usually maybe you would say gute Namiddag, like Nachmittag instead of Nachmittag, like he did. Just like little things that stand out.
Good evening is Guten Abend. There's a lot of different phrases that people memorize, even if they're not native speakers of the language, because it builds a sense of solidarity with people in this area for those people who value the language and value their connection to it. Even knowing a few words and phrases can establish an immediate sense of rapport with people in your community.
That's awesome. So basically what he's saying is that, or at least from what I understood from this, because there wasn't really an introduction, it sounds like even people who don't speak Pennsylvania Dutch natively remember these phrases to kind of show respect to the Pennsylvania Dutch community around them. So that's really, really cool. By the way, if you were wondering what I keep putting in and out of my ears the whole time, I have my everyday earbuds from Raycon in, and I just kind of like take them out when I talk to you because then I can concentrate a little bit better. But I always have these with me, usually just on my keys, right here, because as the name says, they're super practical everyday earbuds with an amazing sound quality. They even have different sound profiles depending on what music genre you like to listen to. They have a built-in mic so that you can do phone calls with them, and the best thing is that they just don't fall out of your ears no matter what you do all day. And believe me, if they don't fall out of mine, then they definitely won't fall out of yours, because my ears are literally the most tricky ears for headphones. I can't use those standard headphones that don't go into your ears at all, for example. Those literally fall right out, but these go into your ears a little bit. And they have these comfortable gel tips that come in plenty of different sizes so that you can customize them to get the perfect in-ear fit. I have the smallest on, of course, because I have baby ears. And even the earbuds themselves have been modified to fit into that curvature of your ears. So they really fit in there and they stay no matter how big or small your ears are. So you can really use these for running, which granted I don't do, but I go on walks and I know I can headbang with them, so I'm pretty sure you can use them for running. I have them in while I work out at home. I have them in while I'm at the store, while doing household stuff like cleaning, cooking, yard work, all those kinds of things, because I personally really like listening to podcasts while doing those things. And with my Raycons, I can take my podcasts or also my music, whatever I want to listen to, with me all day long. And I don't have to worry about the battery dying either, because they have a playtime of 8 hours, which is a long time, and a battery life of 32 hours. So honestly, I only have to charge them every few weeks. It's not something that I have to remember to do every night. It's super rare. And the best thing about them is the amazing Preis-Leistungs-Verhältnis. That's a word that Germans use a lot, by the way. It means value for money ratio, because these only cost half of what other premium audio brands charge, but they're amazing quality, so you really get something for your money. They even have over 49,000 5-star reviews, and the best thing is that on top of the already great price, you can now save an additional 15% if you buy them through my link in the info box below or go to buyraycon.com/Feli from Germany. So just click the link in the info box and get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Okay, next up I have a video from Kelly's channel. You guys might know her. She has an amazing channel. She doesn't really post videos anymore, right now at least, but definitely check out all of her old videos. They're super interesting. And this one is about Pennsylvania Dutch, where like her and her German boyfriend, or husband, I'm not quite sure, I think boyfriend, are speaking to a Pennsylvania Dutch speaker. And this is a long video. I'm gonna link it down below if you want to watch the whole thing, but we're just gonna go through the parts where he actually does speak Pennsylvania Dutch, and I'm gonna see what I can understand again.
Let's start with like some basic elementary words. You ready?
Yeah.
I'll say the word in Pennsylvania Dutch, and you give the English. How's that sound? Or give the standard German for it. We'll figure it out.
All right.
Let's I'll start off with a slow pitch here.
Okay.
Hund.
Okay, super easy. Hund is Hund. That's the same word in standard German. It's dog.
Yeah, that's a dog.
Yeah.
I even knew that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
House.
Pretty basic. House is obviously house. Same in English.
Yeah, that's a house.
Okay. Shire.
Not sure. Maybe, ein Schauer maybe? Like a little, what's that in English? Like Regenschauer, so like when it rains for a second? What else could that be? Shire. I'm not sure.
I'll pass, I think.
So the standard German word is Scheune.
Oh.
Okay. I actually had that in my mind for a second, but then I was like, nah, that's too far away from that. Weird. Like that was kind of an association that I had in my head for just a quick second. But of course I didn't say that, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
What's that
All
mean?
right. That's a barn.
A barn. Okay. How about a phrase? You ready?
A phrase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot.
My Bruder springt stark.
Mein Bruder springt stark. Is that what he said? I'm gonna listen again.
My Bruder springt stark.
Okay, so mein Bruder springt, definitely. So my brother jumps. Stark. That sounds like it's starr. So like statically, but I don't know how that makes sense. So I'm not sure.
My brother jumps. Stark is a word I have trouble with. So I guess.
Same as me.
I don't know. I'm lost here.
Yeah, and here's a false cognate. Springe in Pennsylvania Dutch means to run, not to
Okay.
All right.
jump. So my Bruder springt stark means my brother runs fast.
Stark is fast? Interesting. Okay. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Stark is fast or strongly.
stark.
Yeah, I was like going in that direction, but it wouldn't make any sense in that phrase.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like
with the spring. Yeah, that's a different. The verb to jump in Pennsylvania Dutch is chumpe.
Chumpe. Okay, so see, that's like in German, it's definitely springen, not related to chumpe at all. But you can see how that then relates to English, to jump, chumpe, jump. It's such a cool language. I'm really interested in this.
So you can hear that English influence a little bit there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Chumpe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dotty hut can do walk me.
Okay. So my daddy, or I don't want to repeat it wrong, but that definitely sounded like it's English influence. So my dad, mein Vater, hat kein something mehr. So doesn't have da-da-da anymore. Duwak? Is that what he said? Okay, so my first guess, because like, ak, maybe tabak. That's the only thing that I can think of. Like, tabak would be tobacco. I have no clue, though.
Can I hear that one more time?
Yeah, sure. My daddy hut can duwak me.
May.
I think it's my daughter, maybe? Well, then I'm completely lost.
So, my daddy hat kein Duwak mehr. Mein Vater hat kein mehr Tabak.
Hey!
Right.
I got
my
that
dad
right!
doesn't have any tobacco anymore?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
I got that right! Okay, proud of myself. Let's move on. Next up, we have a video from Douglas Madenford or Madenford, and the title already sounds Pennsylvania Dutch. It's called Es Hinkelhaus, and I have no clue what that means. House definitely means house, and S means it, but let's watch.
Hallo liebe Leute in Nepal, es ist wieder der Doug aus Pennsylvania und ich habe ein Pennsylvanisch Deutschwort für euch wieder zu.
Okay, so he said, hi dear people in the Pfalz, I think, so like in Palatinate. It's Doug again from Pennsylvania, and I have another Pennsylvania Dutch word for you. So that was pretty easy to understand for me.
Zu delen und heute es Wort ist es Hingelhaus.
Okay, so the word that he has for us is what the title is. He pronounces it a little bit different than I did, as Hingelhaus.
Hingelhaus. Und ich weiß, ich glaube, dir wisst schon, was es ist, aber wenn du nicht weißt, was es ist, ein Hingelhaus, du in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so he said, I think you already know what this means, but if you don't know what it means, then here's the explanation. He hasn't explained it yet. I stopped it. The thing is, I have no clue. Maybe it's like a outdoor toilet? What are those called again in English? Like a plumpsklo. Like a privy? Is that what they're called? But that's, for some reason, that's just like the only thing I can think of because of the house part, because I know that like Klohaus or Scheißhaus is like sometimes a dialect word for like a toilet, and like it comes from the times where like those were like their own little shed or like little building out in the yard, but that's probably not it.
Pennsylvania, aber ich muss das Tier aufmachen. Und wenn ich das Tier aufmachst, na warte mal gucken drin. Was ist drin?
Okay. No, I was totally wrong.
Ein Hingelhaus hat Hingel drin. Ein Haus für Hingel.
Hinge is Hände, like chicken. Okay. I did not make that connection at all. It's not too far away from, like, for example, the Bavarian dialect word for chicken. So, like, technically, let's explain. In standard German, it is a Huhn or a Hähnchen, especially when you eat it, you would refer to it as Hähnchen. You can also say Hühnchen. So there's like a lot of different words there already that do start with an H, so like it's kind of similar. In Bavarian dialect, for example, if we eat it, like at Oktoberfest, for example, if you have like a half chicken that you eat, it's a Hände. But like I would have not guessed that Hinge is that. So that's interesting. So I think it's a chicken barn, shed, stall. Let's see how he translates it into English, if he even does.
Dein pentophonisch deutsches Wort für heute. Hingelhaus. Use es. Mag's gut.
So he didn't actually translate it. I'm assuming it's in German it would be Hühnerstall. Yeah, interesting. I did not guess that. Okay, the next video is a little bit longer, but we're just gonna be skipping through it. This is from a channel called Hiwwe wie Driwwe, which I'm assuming is already a Pennsylvania Dutch term. Driwwe sounds like drinnen. Hiwwe, like maybe it's hier wie dort, like here and there. I'm totally not sure. That's probably not it. Let's check it out.
Pennsylvania im Winter.
Okay.
Es ist
Pennsylvania in the
ordentlich
winter.
kalt.
It's very cold.
Es schneit alle Gebot. Und wer nicht raus muss,
Es schneit alle Gebot. It's snowing a lot? I'm not quite sure.
bleibt besser daheim in die Wurmstub.
Okay, whoever doesn't have to go outside is better to stay at home in your warm home, in der warmen Stube.
Es ist eine Zeit, als gemeine Hand nicht zu viel am AG ist in seiner Weltteil.
Es ist eine Zeit where it is a time where something isn't a lot, but I didn't quite understand, like, maybe he said there's not a lot going on, and then he said the place where he's at.
Nicht zu viel. Bis zum Zweithanning.
not too much until I would say that Zweethanning. It's probably January 2nd, 2. Januar.
Wir haben Hanning 2015, uns ist Grundsaudag.
Wir haben Januar 2015, we have January 2015 und es ist Grundsaudag. I'm not quite sure if he's just saying like it's dark.
Ich bin da in Pennsylvania für ausfinden, wie es ist mit der deutschen Sprache und der deutschen Kultur da Hiwwe in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so he's in Pennsylvania to find out what things are like with the Deutsche Sprache, so with the German, or like I think in this case he might just mean like the Pennsylvania Dutch language. And did he say culture? I already forget. I'm so bad at like remembering.
Nicht mehr kennt ihr sehen, das Hans-Hör-Haus, das gebaut war im Jahr 1719.
Okay, so there's the Hans-Hör house behind him that was built in the year 1719.
War eins von den ersten Häusern mit Steh, das gebaut wurde da in Lancaster County. Und es steht alles noch da, das war gebaut.
Okay, so he's in Lancaster County. That's the county that I said earlier where the most Pennsylvania Dutch settlers still are. Not settlers, where the biggest Pennsylvania Dutch communities still are.
Mein Karl das Käse hat Hans Hör. Er ist komme aus die Pfalz, die Palat nicht. So, ich gehe auf den Race, da ich die unterschiedlichen Counties in Pennsylvania herausfinde, wie die deutsche Sprache noch geschwätzt wird und was noch da ist von der pennsylvanisch-deutschen Kultur.
Okay, so I'm not going to translate all of it because, I mean, he just explained like that this person came over from the Pfalz and this was one of the first houses. I think, what did he, I don't know if he meant like one of the first like solid houses that was built. It was the first house of some sort. It was built at the time in 1719 in that area. And he said that he is kind of going around that area to find out how much is still left of the Pennsylvania Dutch language and culture. Oh yeah, and what was also really funny is that he said geschwätzt instead of like gesprochen. So like schwätzen is already a German dialect term that is mainly known for like the Schwäbisch dialect, maybe I'm not quite sure if they say it in Badisch as well, in Pfälzisch, I think in Hessisch. Yeah, that sounds like so cute. Like schwätzen is just like a very not funny sounding dialect term, but it's just like it sounds so much more approachable and cute than just like to talk, if that makes sense. So that was really cute that he just like said it, but I think it's their normal word that they use for talking.
Well, deel van komen, weil das ist was ihre Familie geschwätzt haben, ihre Eltern und
She just said it too. So someone came because das ist, was ihre Familie geschwätzt hat. That's what her family talked. I skipped to this part, so I'm honestly not sure who she's talking about.
Großeltern und so weiter. Und sie sagen, oh, wo ich jung war, ich hätte das lernen sollen, aber ich habe nicht, na will ich's lernen.
Okay, so she said, and also her grandparents spoke it, and, well, she's talking about someone in third person, so, like, it's gonna get kind of complicated with me translating it, but she's talking about another person. She is talking about how this woman said that she should have learned it when she was younger, but now she wants to learn it.
Und Dale haben Amische und Minister Nachbarn, oder sie gehen ins Market in die Store und sie wollen schwätzen mit.
Okay, now I didn't understand all of it. I think she said something about Amish and Mennonite neighbors and speaking the language, but no.
Und Dale sind just für so, just für Spaß. So.
Just für Spaß? Just für so? Just for fun, I think?
Ich habe immer gewusst, bis ich in Glebu war, als ich Deutsch bin. So es ist etwas, das meine Großeltern haben mich gesagt, wann ich Glebu war, als ich Pennsylvania Dutch bin.
Okay, I think I understood what he said. I think he said that he's always known that he's Pennsylvania Dutch ever since he was born and that his grandparents told him.
Und ich habe nicht allemal gewusst, was es meint.
But he hasn't always known what it meant.
Mein Vater, sein Vater, hat Pennsylvanisch Deutsch gelernt.
His dad's dad learned Pennsylvania Dutch.
Wann gelebt war, aber hat es vergessen, wann ein Adult war.
When he was young, but he forgot it when he was a grown-up, when he was an adult.
Und wann ein bisschen älter war, hat viel Klasse mit den Groundhog Lodges eingenommen. Und hat es geused alle Tag, wann älter war.
That honestly sounds like he's speaking Denglish, which is like, you guys might know Spanglish, or if you've watched my channel before, you might know Denglish as well. Denglish, which is a mix of German and English, which is something that we kind of not speak in Germany, but like it's a modern day slang that a lot of young people use a whole lot of English words in their everyday vocabulary. They will just say, das ist ja total weird, ja, das war total random. Oh, das ist ja scary, spooky. Like there's like a bunch of words. And we'll also do this thing where we will use an English verb, but then Germanize it and use the German conjugation and the German past form for it. And he just actually said geused, and that is totally something that young people would say nowadays. Like for example, we will say gedownloaded, which is the English word download, but then we make it German, like when we say, ich habe ein Programm runtergeladen, and when we say, I downloaded something, we would say, ich habe es gedownloaded. Not everyone says it like that, but a lot of people do. And so it was just really funny because this one word, like apparently they do that with some words too, but of course to them it's not like slang, but it just made him sound like he was speaking like German youth language for a second there.
So, wenn ich ein Kind war, ich habe ihm gehört allemal Deutsch geschwätzt. Er hat mir gesagt, schick dich und Dinge so wie behave dich.
Behave dich. That's another example. Okay, so I think he's still talking about how his grandfather used to speak German with him, or Pennsylvania Dutch with him every now and then, and he would say things like schick dich, like hurry up, or behave dich, which is like, behave is obviously English and then dich is German, so such an interesting mix. Okay, let's go to one last guy before we wrap up this video. I'm sorry that we can't really like listen to everything that they're actually talking about, like the actual content. As I said, I'm gonna link them down below. I don't know if they come with English subtitles, but let's see what he says.
So, was wird noch geschehen zu die Pennsylvanisch-Deutsch Spruch und Kultur?
Okay, so what happened to the Pennsylvania Dutch language and culture?
Oder bleibt sie noch für eine Generation oder für zwei?
Is it gonna go away? Is it gonna like disappear, or is it gonna stay for another generation or two?
Wir wissen es ja nicht.
We don't know.
Die karische Leid, die lutherische und reformierte, es sind just alte Leid, als die Spruch noch schwätze.
Okay, I don't know what karisch means. Some kind of religious group, probably. I can't really piece it together, but then he said Lutherans, and what else did he say? He said those are all older people that still speak the language.
Und es sind nicht zu viele Junge,
it's not as many young people that are interested
Auf die andere
to learn
Seite,
it.
die Amish und die Menniste, sie haben viel Kinder und sie schwätzen die Spruch Pennsylvanisch-Deutsch auch noch daheim.
On the other hand, the Amish and the Mennonites have a lot of kids, and they also still speak the language at home.
Und das ist etwas. Aber man muss wissen, dass die Spruch sich verändert.
I'm still not sure what epis means.
Dass die bleibt nicht, wie sie war.
But you have to keep in mind that the language is changing. It's not going to stay as it used to be, as it was.
Die Amische und die Menniste in Lancaster County und andere Teile von den United States haben viel mehr Englisch in ihrer Sprache. So, es ist eine große Veränderung, als alleweil Platz nimmt mit dem Pennsylvanisch-Deutsch Spruch.
Okay, so he says that those groups in Lancaster County have a lot of English influences, so that is getting integrated more and more into their Pennsylvania Dutch language. I already mentioned how they all use like geschwätzt and schwätzen for speaking, which is just like, it makes it sound so nice from a standard German perspective. They also do this whole thing where it's like ischt instead of ist, which is also like a cute dialect thing that Swabian people do, but again, also probably like Pfälzisch and Badisch and all those dialects. So that was the last video I had prepared. Honestly, I think my conclusion is that I actually understood way more than I thought I would, but I also have heard before that Germans are able to understand and communicate with Pennsylvania Dutch people. And as I said, from what I remember from the Amish community that we went to, I think we did understand most of it, but it's just kind of blurry in my memory. Again, I didn't really understand the poems in the beginning, but I didn't really understand the English translations either. So I'm still kind of interested in what that actually meant. But honestly, I have to say that I really, really like this language. I think it sounds so cute. It's so cool to kind of see how it merged with English too. Like in the grammar, like the sentence structures, how they like directly translate things from English into German, how they like use the Denglish words like geused. Those kinds of things, that's just like super cool to see for me as a German. I hope you guys found this interesting too. I've also gotten requests to check out Texas German, which is another German dialect here in the US. So let me know in the comments below if you would find that interesting too, or you can also just hit the thumbs up button to let me know if you like these kinds of videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok yet, you should definitely go ahead and do that. You get a lot of additional content on there and also some insights into my everyday life. And of course, if you like what I do on my channel, it would be amazing if you showed your support by subscribing to my channel, maybe even activate the bell. That way you'll be notified about new uploads from me. And if you want to support me beyond that, you can do so by hitting the super thanks button down below, by joining my Patreon family at patreon.com/FeliFromGermany, or you can buy me a drink on buymeacoffee.com. I appreciate your support either way, and I hope I'll see you next time. Tschüss!